So today is November 4th, 2014, and it is Election Day. For those of you who have followed my blog on my website, know that I am very passionate about the issue of social justice and health equity, and today is the day to make our voices heard. If you are unaware of the issues that are currently on the ballot in your community, and you have access to internet, please do a search. Just Google search. You can put in the election 2014 issues or just search online in your communities to find out what issues are on the ballot in your community. Many people actually think that the presidential election is important, and in some ways it is, but in my estimation, this interim election is probably even more important because it deals with issues, local issues, issues at home. And for those communities like Ferguson, where you have this disruption in community life and social well-being because of instances of perceived racism or other things that impact daily life, this is the time to make our voices heard. You might not think you have information or enough information, but it doesn't take much time to get some education. There are oftentimes websites that will list the candidates and what they stand for. Hopefully you have been involved in at least listening to some of the debates on television in your local arenas. And perhaps if you haven't had an opportunity to do that, you may have someone that you know and trust who you can kind of speak with about these issues. These are the times, and I am reminded of the campaign that was started by an undergraduate student at Harvard, the I Too Am Harvard campaign, where this group of students started talking about some of the instances of racism, whether it be subtle racism that they experience on a daily basis sometimes, that impacted their ability to thrive. And I understand that. Even as a physician, there are times where I'll come into a patient's room and they're like, oh, well, you can take the tray out. And I'm standing in my white coat and have my stethoscope, and I'm still thought of as the help. So I understand that. But what bothers me even more is that so many of us take for granted that we live in a country where people died for the right to vote. Women fought long and hard for the right to vote. Blacks fought long and hard for the right to vote. We have a responsibility to go out and make our voices heard. And in this nation whose social economy, whose slave economy built the capitalist society that we live in, there are so many injustices that are levied against persons of color. And I'm going to use that term broadly to include many populations, not just blacks, but many populations who feel marginalized. So yes, blacks experience it, but so do Hispanics, or so do women. There are gender issues. There are issues related to sexual orientation. There are people feel marginalized. And we have a right to love whom we want to. We have a right to live where we want to. We have a right to education, and good education, not just schoolhouses that are set up in communities where students don't even have the appropriate books, or the teachers are outnumbered so much that they're not able to focus on the students individually in those classes. Each and every individual in this nation, regardless of race, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, etc., has a right, basic rights that we need to start speaking up for. Social justice is empowering when we realize that we have a voice. And so today I am hoping that you make your voice heard. Go out and vote. Learn about the issues. And if you don't know that much about the issues right now, get some advice from somebody who does, but then make it your business over the next few months to really educate yourself about the issues about social justice and what we can do locally on the local level in our governments to make things better. So I'm reminded of this amazing poem by Langston Hughes where he stated and started out saying, I am the darker brother. You can fill that in with whatever you'd like. I am the Spanish-speaking brother. I am the female brother. I am the gay brother. But I am the darker brother. And that poem ended by saying, I too am America. So get your vote out today. Go rock that vote. And let your voice be heard loud and clear that I too am America.